You know, we've all grown up with stories of monsters that lurk in the dark. But what if one of them, maybe the oldest and most famous of them all, wasn't just a story? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the vampire myth. And trust me, what's hiding behind it might just change how you see everything.
This quote from Robespierre, it really hits at the core of what we're talking about. The obsession with living forever, it's as old as humanity itself. But what if for a select few, it wasn't just an obsession? What if it was a goal they could actually achieve?
And that's the big question, isn't it? The source material we're digging into today puts forward this absolutely wild theory that the legend of the vampire isn't just fiction. It's a memory, a distorted echo of a very real and very secret history.
All right, let's jump right in. Because to even begin to understand this, you have to separate the monster we all know from the actual man who inspired it. So on one side, you've got the historical figure Vlad III, also known as Vlad the Impaler, a real-life 15th century prince who was, to put it mildly, terrifyingly brutal. Then on the other side, you've got Count Dracula, the suave, undead monster Bram Stoker dreamed up. And most people think, okay, Stoker bear the meme. But the source we're looking at says, no, no, no. The connection is way, way deeper than that.
Get this. Vlad and his father were both members of a very real, very exclusive secret society. It was called the Societas Draconistorum, or, for us, the Order of the Dragon. And what this order was really up to was far more interesting than just fighting wars.
See, their public mission, the thing they told everyone, was that they were defending Christianity. You know, a noble cause. But according to the source, that was just a cover. Their real, secret goal was to hunt for mystical, hidden powers. Why? Because they believed they were the heirs to a sacred bloodline, one with a direct link to the Holy Grail.
Which leads us right to the heart of the matter. If they weren't just holy knights, then what in the world were they really doing? Well, the answer, our source claims, wasn't found on a battlefield. It was found in the dark, smoky labs of the alchemists.
Okay, let's peel back another layer here. We've got to talk about alchemy. And I mean, you should probably forget everything you think you know about it.
Yeah, this isn't about turning lead into gold. That was just a metaphor. According to this theory, real alchemy was a spiritual science, and its ultimate prize, the great work, wasn't about getting rich. It was about conquering death itself, achieving physical, literal immortality.
And this brings us to a very specific, very secret ceremony, which the source calls the Urushtar, or the Phoenix Ritual. This is supposedly the key. It's the actual, step-by-step alchemical process for how you turn a mortal human into an immortal something else. This is the how-to guide for becoming a vampire.
And here's how it's said to work, just like the legend of the Phoenix. Step 1, death. The initiate's human body has to actually die. Step 2, purification. The old self, the mortal person, is consumed in a symbolic fire. And then step 3, rebirth. From those ashes, a new being emerges. Transcendent, powerful, immortal, and not quite human anymore.
So a ritual this powerful, this kind of knowledge, where did it come from? It definitely wasn't invented in some drafty European castle. The source claims it's a secret that's been passed down since the dawn of civilization.
The trail supposedly starts in ancient Egypt, with the god Thoth, the legendary author of the Emerald Tablet. From there, the secret knowledge traveled to Alexandria, where it was mixed with Greek philosophy and Eastern magic. And then it went underground, passed through secret societies for centuries, until it resurfaced in Europe with people like Roger Bacon, who supposedly wrote it all down.
Okay, so if this ancient, world-changing knowledge is real, who's been protecting it all this time? You don't just leave a secret like that lying around. Well, according to the source, it's been guarded by two very specific, very hidden family lines.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because it's all about a strange, symbiotic relationship. First, you have what's called the Grail bloodline. The theory claims these are direct descendants of Jesus, and their pure genetics make them the perfect vessels for this transformation. And then you have the House of Abraxas, an ancient order of actual immortals, or vampires, and their job is to protect the Grail line so they can use it for themselves.
Now, to get what this group is all about, you have to understand the name, Abraxas.
In Gnostic beliefs, Abraxas isn't a god of good or a demon of evil. He's both. He's everything, the divine and the demonic all rolled into one single being. You know, it's kind of the perfect symbol for a creature that lives completely beyond human ideas of right and wrong.
And this quote from the source just lays it all out there. It says, "The house of Abraxas protects these families for one reason. Only a body from this special bloodline is a perfect host for an existing vampire to be reborn into. It's how they keep their line pure and powerful, generation after generation."
Okay, now let's take all of this, the secret history, the alchemy, the bloodlines, and see how it builds to the source's most shocking claim, that this isn't just history, it's happening right now, and the truth is being hidden in plain sight. The theory goes that you can't just drop a truth bomb this big on the world. It would be too much. So instead, it's been encoded. It's been hidden as allegory inside the stories we watch and read, getting us used to the idea bit by bit.
And check this out. The source draws these incredible parallels in film. In Jupiter Ascending, you have a royal family literally named the House of Abraxas that harvests entire planets, like Earth, to make a youth serum. And in Dark City, these creepy aliens called the Strangers have trapped humans in a fake city to study them. In both stories, what is humanity? We're a crop. We're a resource, living inside a prison we don't even know exists.
This line from the doctor in Dark City, man, it's just chilling. It perfectly captures the most disturbing part of this whole theory, the idea that our reality might not be our own, that we might be living in a kind of farm, managed by these hidden forces for their own gain. And so here we are, at the final, mind-bending conclusion. The whole vampire myth, the capes, the fangs, the sleeping in coffins, it's all just a fairy tale, a simple story created to hide a much more complex and terrifying truth. A truth about immortal families, secret science, and humanity's unknowing role in helping them live forever.
So that leaves us with one last, really unsettling question to chew on. If myths are just history that's been warped over time, then what truths are hiding in the stories that we're telling right now? What are our movies, our books, and our TV shows trying to tell us?